So what made you want to get into property?
Accountancy, and I was dealing with clients that were in property for like 10 or so years, and I saw what money they were making.
Yeah.
I also got to know the lifestyle they were having as well, and I was like, well, how can I do this for myself? Because I still think back to these days where like, I used to be just commuting to work, and my life was just on repeat really.
Yeah,
like,
bit of a Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I didn't. It's like there was days I didn't want to get up for work. I didn't want to just like go through the whole process, and every day was just like doing the same thing over the same thing, and then it was literally paycheck after paycheck. You hear it all the time, and then when I was a bit more focused on what I really wanted out of life, and it's like, they want to build a family, they want to build an income, that's where the courses and like the knowledge from other people really help. My why is like, I want to be able to take my family anywhere, anytime, at any cost.
Yeah. I think you might have said that on your first video that we did together, you know?
Yeah. And to do that, you literally have to be free from burden, I'd say. You have to have cash flowing assets that can be paying you without you having to be there to work. Fair enough, you'll have management agents or employed agents to do the whole legwork, but I always think about the worst case scenario. What if like my parents went into debt? Would I have the financial capability and the time to go out there and care for them? And that partly arises from like my grandfather, who passed away like 2 years ago. He was put in a care home, and it did make me think like, so there's so many like siblings, like, oh, why can one of them like take care of them? I guess it comes to a family decision at the end of the day, and it comes to convenience, but like I'd always want to be just there really, and like have the option of like, oh, you can stay with us. And I don't think when I walked into the care home, I didn't really like the environment. It was just horrible to be living in those kind of conditions.
And I guess you felt that there was nothing at the time you really could do to help.
Yeah, I was like, it wasn't really my place in a way. It's like, I don't want to be the one looking like a hero, but at the end of the day, you just got to respect other elders' opinions.
Yeah, for sure, that makes sense.
And I think partly it's just from history of being really close to family. We used to always like have dinner together, so I still talk to my siblings to today really, and they're still growing up, and I try and be a role model really, and let them kind of see that you can come from nothing to something.
Yeah.
It doesn't really always depend on like whether you go to the best schools or like, it's really about who you know, and
mindset, I guess, as well, right?
Definitely, yeah. Just have an end in mind.
Yeah, I've just seen a sign for Alton Towers. Should we go?
Yeah, let's go for it.
I've never seen. Have you not?
No, never been.
Oh, we're tying that in.
Yeah.
Next time we come down, we're going to tie that in. Do you like roller coasters?
Yeah, I love roller coasters.
You haven't been to Alton Towers?
I lived in Tamworth, and I live next to Drayton Manor.
Well, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense.
But it's not the same, I've heard. Like,
no.
It says Alton Towers is more kind of adult rides.
Definitely.
Definitely. You got Thomas Land.
Yeah, Thomas Land, yeah. So as long as I've been filming you for, I mean, you've been absolutely smashing it. Like I've filmed quite a lot of people for people's YouTube channels and things like that, and I've not seen somebody be able to accelerate this as much as you have.
Thank you.
It's amazing, man. It's amazing what you do. You know, I come to you, you've got new projects on. You know, we've just been to the hotel, which we'll stick on now to show you some of the shots from this hotel, which is crazy. But it's incredible. It's incredible what you're able to achieve. And I know you were talking to me earlier about joint venturing as well, and yeah, I mean, I wondered if you could elaborate on how you managed to get these big deals with a joint venture. Does that help to be able to secure these bigger deals, and how you managed to accelerate it so hard in the last 2 years? Is it 2 years?
It's crazy. I do think back, and I do downplay it a bit because like I had a meal last night. We were just thinking like, oh, so how many properties did you have then when we met on that course? And I said, oh, I just had 2 single beds, 2 free beds, and then to think in the space of a year, I've managed to buy about 10 properties during a pandemic.
Unbelievable.
It is something to be proud about.
Definitely, because I think most people would have just like taken a step back, you know, and just kind of relaxed the whole thing. But you seem to have gone the other way of, you know, seeing it as an opportunity, which I think is that mindset thing.
I think all it is keeping that momentum.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in the flow of things, and then it might sound a bit corny, but things just come your way.
It's very true.
I became a yes man during Christmas time about 2019. Yeah, literally a deal come by, and I'd say yes. And there was no fear involved.
That's the key, I think, isn't it? Is
like I wouldn't be thinking of, oh, where am I going to get the money from?
Yeah.
I didn't. I basically had a refinance drawdown come in, so there's a pot of money in my bank, and then I was just telling my agents, I was saying, oh, I've got the money ready for this deal. But I did this for like 6-7 deals. Yeah. Different agents. And I just had to work it out. I was just like, okay, so I knew from the time I get an offer accepted to getting the finance or planning in place, I'm going to have about 3-4 months wiggle time. Yeah. And in those 3-4 months, I can find the finance. And that was a really hard mindset to get into.
That's a solid confidence. I mean,
it took balls, I'd say, because I think about now. I think collectively across 8 deals, there's probably about 1.5 million that I needed to raise.
Wow!
But that was also factoring refurbishment, because it's the first time I've never done drawdowns on like development finance. But then when that opened up, I was like, wow, okay,
I can double this then.
I can double it. Yeah, that's it. So I just went from like 4. I think at the start I was like, oh, let's do 3 deals at a time. So I utilise the same time to triple the outcome. Yeah. And utilise the same teams. So yeah, it's just really momentum, just staying focused and finding the deals that don't take too much time. So the 6 beds are great because permitted development. I don't have to wait around for planning. Yeah, I knew I could buy it for this price today's date, and it's going to be worth X amount in like 9 months' time. So in short, yeah, it was really just a confidence thing, and just reaching out to people, networks, feeling like a homeless pauper. Like, can you invest in me? Actually, there were times that I nearly lost deals because I didn't have the funds in place. And, it was really just like, come on. I had my coach as well pushing me. Coaching was massive for me because in times where I felt less productive, he was like, come on, Sean, what can you do today? What can you do this week? And you just focus on the things you can control rather than worry about the things you can't control. So like a mentor, you'd say like a mentor is a really big part of keeping close to it? I'd always say mentoring and coaching is 2 different things. Okay. Because a mentor will always teach you from their own experience, whereas a coach brings the best out of you. Right. A lot of people might see it as, oh, I'm doing all this myself. Yeah. But you do need someone to crack the whip for you to literally do it. Because it's easy just to sort of sit back, isn't it, and think, like someone can tell you to do something, and if you don't do it, you might end up going in blame mode, and you'll say, oh, this didn't happen because he basically didn't teach me how to do it. Yeah. But a lot of the time it is you, and then you've got to stay accountable to all your actions. Definitely. And how you do anything is how you do everything, really. You're going to be lazy in bed. Where else are you showing this in your life? Yeah. Are you going to be lazy in your deals? If you're not managing your finances right on a deal, where is this showing up on your property or your business? And it really does reflect on the character of who you are and as a business. I think seeing property as a business as opposed to something else is quite important, because I think a lot of people, they watch Homes Under the Hammer, for example, and they think, well, it's just easy then, we just buy at auction, which, I mean, I haven't bought at auction, but I mean, do you buy at auction? Yeah, I've bought a few deals from auction. It's got to be quick, right? It's all about speed, I think. It's all about speed, and if you work at the right lenders, you can get finance approved within 2 weeks. Yeah, with like bridging. Bridging, and then you just need to make sure you get the deposit there. Yeah. But it can be risky, right? If you don't know what you're doing, buying at auction can be very risky. Yeah, I remember the course I was with. It's like, you must go to our auction course, otherwise you're going to lose money. And it's true, because if you don't know what you're doing, then you are going to lose money. But at the time, I didn't do the auction course. I just spoke to people that bought auction. Yeah, nice. And key thing they just said, just make sure you got money readily available. Yeah. And you look through the legal pack. Yes. If you see the minor defect, I mean, there's a reason why it's on auction. Either the seller wants to have a quick sale, or there's something wrong with it, and they can't go through the traditional ways of selling.
Can you get a before the auction date? Can you get a survey done on it or not?
You wouldn't necessarily get a survey done by a surveyor because it's going to cost you if you were to do a survey on every property.
And then lose
You've kind of have to have a know of the area and like know what you're looking at when you do.
Maybe take a builder with you, maybe.
Yeah, bring a builder with you to see if there's any structural defects and stuff like that. To be fair, I did do a structural reserve survey on one of my auction purchases.
Did you?
Yeah, and they came up with a report of what to work on.
Right.
And a lot of the stuff that people saw as, oh, it's going to cost a lot of money to fix. But then if it stacks up in the end and you can afford those costs, like if there's subsidence, you do some underbinning, cost you 10 grand, let's say.
Yeah. I guess if you cost all that in,
cost it all in,
it's not going to scare you.
Yeah. Another thing I get a lot is people say, "Oh, you've got to pay stamp duty." And it's like, well, are you just going to stick with the one property?
Well, yeah, that's true.
You won't build a portfolio, so you just got to factor in your figures. And, it's a financial thing, I think.
Do you think property is as lucrative as it used to be?
I think it'd still be lucrative if you find the right deals and you just budget right.
Yeah.
Organise it right, have the right teams in place. If you try and do everything yourself, it can still be lucrative because you're saving that cost of hiring someone else. But at the same time, do you value your time as well?
Yeah.
Could you be looking for another deal that's going to bring you another passive income? Could you be hiring someone for less of a value of your time?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So someone starting out in property, they're like, okay, I want to go buy a house. I want to start to invest in my future. One of my friends, for example, really wants to get in, but has no money, has no experience. What's the first step? Is it getting some education, reading some books, perhaps?
I think do some education, whether you pay for it or you look for online resources. And like I said at the start earlier, it depends on your urgency. Do you have 2-3 years to build this? If you do, you can take it slow and get all the education you need free online, and then just take it as it comes.
Yeah.
Do the viewings, learn what structural defects there are in properties, how the whole process works as well.
And you can get that pretty much for free, right?
Yeah,
like
you can
online
get it all for free. I mean, there's loads of networking groups where you can connect with investors. Some are really willing to help. Some are like super busy and they'll be like, I've paid for my education. Why should I be here letting you take?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a double whammy. There's got to be an exchange of value. Like if you can give someone value in something that they need and you get something in return, then
I think that's a difficult thing of going to a network meeting as a newbie. It's very intimidating because you feel like you're not bringing anything to the table.
You think about it, every investor was at that stage.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's why some investors go like, "Oh, I was like him." I remember going to network meetings. It was like every Tuesday of the month, every last Thursday of the month.
Yeah.
And I'd show up and I don't have a clue sometimes.
Did you dread it, or were you okay about it?
No, I love people. I love networking with people.
Yeah.
Whereas I understand some people are a bit more introverted and they find it hard to have that conversation.
Yes.
But if you expose yourself to more experiences and more people, you got more to talk about.
It's true.
And I think that's a sales tactic as well. I think part of a key trait of selling is telling a story.
Yeah.
And if you can tell a story behind your brand and what you're about, you tend to sell it naturally because people want to see you.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah. So get some education, and then what's like step 2? I mean, see some properties. How do you find an area, for example? I know that was a really tough one to...
I remember a key tip was just do like a radius around where you live. So how far you're willing to travel, so 1 hour radius, then draw a circle around the map. And then if you do that circle around where you live, another way of looking at it is look at the M1. Look at the towns as you stop on the junctions. They're all going to be major cities, and it's a transport link.
Yeah.
There are people that are going to be coming up. There's a reason why there's the link off the motorway to get to employment opportunities, and either that being industrial or even like white collar professionals. And then you should look at the pricing as well. So like, am I getting houses here for 100 grand? Am I getting it for 200 grand? What are my end values? And the only way you'll know that is if you speak to investors in the area as well.
Yeah.
So this is where networking comes in. And
you can do some desktop research.
yeah,
right?
desktop research. I think it's quicker if you just go there, go to a network meeting. People are going to speak to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't just go to a network meeting and you just sit there and everyone minds their own business.
Yeah.
The whole point of network is there are people that go network because they want to meet people.
Yeah, that's why you're there, isn't it?
And I think there's like a human need where people love to give, people love to contribute. So if you find that person that has a lot of knowledge, then you're in for a winner.
So I guess to sort of wrap up today, what is your end goal?
The end goal for me is to just sustain the business in a way that it just manages itself. Like, if you think about, I admire like Richard Branson, let's say. You could have so many brands out there, but you don't see him behind the counter at Virgin.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So it's building enough income to pay for staff to run it. And also, I like the culture of staff as well. So it's not just about work for them.
Yeah.
There are staff that work for me that want to be coached by me and mentored by me, and then it's like, how can I make it feel like they want to come to work? Is different.
Yeah,
And
that's
can we
important.
have a lifestyle where, like, in accountancy, we all work from home, and my dream is like, we can all fly to Bali, we can whack a laptop up, do what we need to do. We use the use of virtual assistants to like do most of the work, and we can just enjoy ourselves, I think. And that what brings better harmony within an organisation.
Yeah.
Richard Branson even has this rule with employment where there is no limit to staff holidays.
Right.
As long as you can find someone to sustain your work whilst you're gone, you can take as long as you want. And I think that's the inspiration I aspire to work towards. And to get to that goal, you do need the infrastructure and the finance in place to sustain it. So for me, it's just building business. As long as I'm comfortable, I'm not being too greedy. I don't need to live on 100 grand a month, let's say.
Be nice.
It would be nice, but you kind of just get a bit bored, I think.
If your only goal is money, you're never gonna be satisfied.
That's it. There you go. And then I think I'm quite traditional thinking. It's like, I wanted to get married, I want to have kids, and most importantly, spending time with kids at home. I don't want to be like, mum and dad got to work, you've got to go to nursery.
And that's what money gives you ultimately, doesn't it? It gives you that freedom to be able to.
So and I want to be able to take like family, like I said, anywhere, anytime, any cost. And it's the same with if I have children one day, we can fly out. The school's going to be like, we're going to take like a 6-month trip out. So there'll be like a lot more life experience in it. Like they can learn cultures, they can learn just like your basic skills.
Cool. Well, thanks, Stu. It's always nice to have these conversations, and I think hopefully that's given people a bit of an insight into what you do and stuff like that. And maybe we'll do it again at some point. See what projects you've got coming up and whatnot.
Definitely. And we've actually got a series coming up. Should we share the details on that?
We can give a little tease, can't we?
So Matt thought of an idea, him being on my project. He's like, I've been encouraging. I said, like, anyone can do it. So we wanted to put it as a test, and we're thinking of, we're going to do it. We're going to make a series, me and Matt. We're going to take Matt through the whole process, literally from scratch, finding investors, finding deals, and building a passive income from a property. So,
because I've dabbled in very small buy-to-lets in Wales and up north, but I've never done anything on HMO level before. You know, I've never invested in Derby, never gone to that kind of level. Just gone very, very safe, very steady. And we've known each other a while now, and I think it would be really cool to show people like the whole process, and me be like a guinea pig for that process, you know, and film the whole thing.
Yeah, most importantly, we want you guys to just kind of know that it's not just all talk. We want to put it in action in today's current market where it's really, really competitive, and just show you the ways in how I process things and how other people can process it. And I think 2 minds always better than 1.
That's true.
We could probably find the best deal compared to any other deal I've done before.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun as well. We get to film the whole process, and
probably take how long do you think? 12 months?
Yeah, definitely.
Because deals right now are quite hard to find, right?
Well, that's our challenge, and we're going to do it.
We're going to smash it.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up before the battery dies. So yeah, guys, remember to hit the subscribe and notification bell, and stay tuned with our weekly updates.